insert generic greeting here. And welcome to me filming a story time, which I haven't done for quite a while. I don't even know how to properly start filming this video, but I was waiting for this vinyl record for almost half a year, and I was fully believing that I will never receive it. So now that it's finally here, let's talk about it. As some of you might know if you're following my Instagram account, I have been getting into vinyl like late 2022. And it wasn't really a subject I looked much into. I always thought it was a cool concept, but I also always thought I wouldn't ever have the money for it. And then from one day to another, I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy the ones I want to have. I didn't even have a record player. I just bought vinyl. And very many at that. I spent multiple months of my income completely on vinyl. I now have about 50 on my shelves. I think even more than 50 at this point. And the problem is, because I got so late into vinyl, a lot of artists that I like did release some somewhere in the past, but they were limited releases, and so some of them weren't really possible to buy anymore. Including this double EP from the artist Girly, with the EP Damsel in Distress combined with X-Talk. Two EPs I really like, but there was no way of getting this from the official store. They only printed about 500 and they were sold, I think, about 2 years ago. So not even that long ago, but too long ago for me to ever get it officially. The only way for me to ever lay my hands upon this record would be to buy it from somebody who sells it. Now there's this platform called Discogs where people resell vinyl. And it's not only private people, there's also like record stores selling records. But anyway, there were about 4 people that sold this record. And I was going back and forth into thinking from who to buy, because the thing is, the base price from all of them was quite high. And the person I bought from lives in the UK, where with taxes and delivery and all that, I ended up paying like £70, which would be about 80 euros or $90, more or less, which is a lot of money for a record that originally did cost like $30 or something like that. And I wasn't sure about it, but then I thought to myself, if I don't buy it now, it will get sold out potentially, and then I will never get it. So I decided to buy it. My actual payment happened on the 1st of February. Whereas I did go back and forth with 2 of the sellers in January, and I already made my decision in January. But I think, if I remember correctly, there was some back and forth that did postpone me paying for it a little bit. So I would have already paid for it in January. And ever since I paid for it, the story is completely messy. I filmed Storytime bits every couple of months. And I think from this point on, I already have the retelling of the entire story. So we'll just move right into chat material, and we'll get back here once I covered all of the story of what happened ever since the day I bought the record. I keep having the weirdest experiences with delivery and postal services. Continuously. And this one, I think, takes the cake. See, I don't really know how to start this video because I planned to film the intro when the actual vinyl is here. But I don't know when that is. Currently we have early May, but from how the story goes, it could take me months until I actually have the physical object with me. If I get it ever, which is also something I worry about a lot. Now this originally wasn't meant to become a story time, and I feel like if this would have been solved by now or like a week or 2 before, I wouldn't ever have made a video about this. But with the news I got today, this just became the most ridiculous story I feel like that ever happened to me, especially in this category of things happening to people. I don't know how to call this, honestly. I really don't know how to talk about this. It's just, I am baffled, is all I can say. Now I will have my phone with me, because all the receipts and messages are on there, and I'm gonna read you some of the text that happened. Now as an opener, I got into vinyl in late 2022. And I mean, you can see it behind me. There's like a ton of vinyl. There's even more of them. I think I have like 48 currently, or 47, I'm not even sure. And this one is from the singer this video is about. This one is from Girly. That's her original vinyl. Odd one out. It's actually personally signed because I saw her on concert, which is really sweet. You can see it above. I think the camera actually is in a level of focus where you can't even read that. She's a very sweet person, I want to say that first of all. Whenever I see artists that I have vinyl from, I bring the cover with me so they can sign it, which is the first time I could do that, but I will do that more in the future. The thing is, she technically had 2 vinyl out. Her first album, and then she had 2 EPs. One of them was called X-Talk, and one of them was called Damsel in Distress. Both were really great records, and they were printed on 2 different sides of a vinyl, so you basically had both of them combined. And at the point where I got into vinyl, both of them were already sold out. Now there's a place called Discogs, where people resell vinyl. And this one I got really easily from there for a very cheap price, actually completely sealed, everything perfect. That was really nice. The other one was a bit more tricky. Cause I think this one was regularly produced and just stopped being produced at one point. But with X-Talk and Damsel in Distress, like the double vinyl thing, they only printed 500. And something that is so rare does rack up in prices. When I checked Discogs, there were 3 copies of it left. And one of them was above 100 euros. I completely disregarded that one. The other 2 were in a similar price area. One of them was sold from the UK and one from the Netherlands. I'm not sure why I went with the one from the UK. Because the one from the Netherlands would have been more chill and I would have already had that. No hate to the UK person. The UK person is not at fault for anything that happened. But oh boy, you should have gone with the Netherlands version. They almost costed the same. There was like maybe a €5 price difference. Maybe that was the reason. The Netherlands one was completely sealed. The UK one was played once. And when you buy vinyl secondhand, not from the official store, if there's any problems with it, if it like jumps around, if it has cracks or something like that, there's no replacement. Which is why I like the idea of it being played once more, because then I know, oh yeah, it works. I won't have any problems with this. I think that's actually the reason why I went with the UK one. It was such a nice idea. And let me see when I bought it. On the 1st of February, which is 3 months ago now. The concert where she signed that one was on the 19th of April. So I was like, hey, that's 2.5 months. That should be more than enough time for it to arrive at my place and I can bring both of them and have them both signed. Luckily this one arrived pretty fast, so I got this one signed. The other one I have to get signed next time, if I even get it. We'll get there. I did text around with that person a bit before, so the chat actually started like mid-January probably. I have to read through the chat because the beginning was also a bit of a mess, to be honest. Because like in the beginning, the person did have some personal stress in their life. So it took a while for them to send the package off. And there was a lot of back and forth because I was like, hey, where's the package? What's going on? Why are you quiet? No hate to them. I totally understand that. I wasn't really stressed about that. I just wanted a vinyl. I was chill with that actually, even though I texted them quite a bit and was like, hey, what's going on? And then like around the 2nd week of February, there were like strikes by the UK postal service. They weren't delivering anything out. Which was a problem also with this one, because I think this one also was the one that came from the UK to me, from like some reseller store. And it took a while. This one also was lost for a while. It was literally lost somewhere in Royal Mail. But they found it and it got to me. But this happened at the same time, so I was kind of worried that both of them would never get to me. Like, this was a panic moment originally. But it was fine. This one was resolved. The other one needed a while longer. Cause like the thing as well is I think this one was sent out and then the strike started and then it got lost. The other one wasn't even accepted. So the person still had it. The person that sold me the vinyl that I still don't have. I'm just gonna go with their first name because otherwise it's gonna be confusing when I say the person all the time. So Luke, who sold me the vinyl, told me that on the 21st of February, Royal Mail would be delivering internationally again. He was then busy for a while, so I didn't hear anything from them. But on the 6th of March, they finally sent the vinyl off. Now, this isn't ideal. This isn't ideal because it's already more than 2 weeks later than international mail was delivered again. But I was fine with it. I was like, whatever. Because early March is still more than a month until the concert was. So I was like, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna have it in time. I was so hopeful. But mind you, at this point it's been a month since I paid for it. Now if we look at the tracking, because this is actually kind of relevant, It was sent off on the 6th of March. It then was delivered somewhere within the UK around the 11th of March, and on the 15th of March it arrived in Germany. In the customs area, actually. But here's the weird thing. Apparently, it arrived in customs, it was delivered to me, denied, and then went back. Within a time frame that is physically impossible. The distance between the customs facility and where I'm living makes it completely impossible for it to even have been delivered to anywhere close to my town, for it to even be denied. So this makes no sense. It seems to never have left customs. I don't know why. I have not the slightest clue. And the reality is, even if I would call DHL, they wouldn't really tell me, because I had situations like that before. Somebody sent me Pringles once and they were denied and just went back. And when I called them and was like, hey, what happened there? I never denied them. They were like, oh yeah, this person can request like an investigation. But even if you do that, you will never get information. The investigation thing is just something to stall you until you forget about it. So we were never gonna find out why it was apparently denied by me, which it wasn't. And it just went back to the UK, which you can probably imagine was the point where I started getting frustrated, because why is it going back? For what reason? What happened? It also, apparently, on the 21st of March, was already back in the UK, which is a very short time frame, further cementing the fact that it went back straight away. Because, like, it needed as much time to get back, to get there. So there wasn't really time it was sitting around. There wasn't like, a time frame where somebody didn't pick it up or something like that. I didn't get any notice or whatsoever. There was simply no attempt to get this package to me. And I don't know why. I have not the slightest clue what happened. It's so strange. But it gets worse. So even before it got back there, even before the notice of it having arrived back in the UK, I already saw on DHL's website that it was going back. And I immediately messaged Luke and was like, hey, I have no idea what happened there, but I'm pretty sure it never left customs because this made no sense whatsoever given the timing. But it's on the way back to you for some reason. They couldn't help me, obviously. I mean, Luke stated that it said I refused it, which I didn't, but I get the confusion because the website literally claims that for whatever reason. And then I was traveling, so there was some radio silence between the 20th of March and early April. So now we're getting to the really frustrating part. Last time I heard from them originally was the 5th of April, where they told me that they're currently having stuff in their real life going on. They were stressed, and I get that, but it also was really getting close to the concert, and I wanted to have the vinyl with me before the concert. I already gave up on that, I already knew that was not gonna happen, but I still was trying. So I messaged them like over a week later and I was like, do you have any news for me? What is going on? And basically the news was they're trying to find out what happened, which isn't really news. So I did message them like a week later and then yet another week later. And I haven't heard from them. And the thing is, and I'm probably gonna send them this video. So, I'm sorry, Luke, but at this point I thought you are scamming me. I felt actually scammed at this point, because like, how can a package be just going back unless something was wrong with it? For some reason, was there actually a package with a vinyl? Like, I started to get worried actually. And I'm pretty sure that Luke never tried to scam me, but at that point, like after not hearing from them for about 2 weeks, I started to feel like I might have gotten scammed. And in my head at this point, it was the 24th of April. I was like, I'm gonna wait another week, but if I don't hear back from them, I might just ask PayPal to refund the entire thing. That was not only because I thought they might be scamming me, but because, keep in mind, there were only 3 listings for the vinyl, which means there now only were 2 listings since I bought that one. So somebody could be quicker than me and buy one of the other ones and it would never get the vinyl if the one that I originally bought is lost. So my thought process at that point was, let's refund this, let's buy the next cheapest option so I get this vinyl before it's gone forever. Because I also messaged Girlie at that point, because it was already past the concert on the 24th of April, and she told me that it will never be reprinted. So I was like, I need to buy this from someone else, otherwise I will never have it in my hands, and I want that. I want all of her records on vinyl, so my only chance was either this package mysteriously showing up again, or me buying the next one. But luckily, Luke got back to me, and they started contacting Royal Mail about this. They also told me to contact DHL, but that completely became irrelevant once Royal Mail answered. And now here's where it got really weird. Like, actually really weird. It went back to the UK, pretty much after it came to Germany. So, logically, if you send somebody a package and it's sent back, it should go back to your apartment. But for some reason, this didn't happen in this case, and this is why communication was so confusing. Because instead of going back to Luke, they just put it into some kind of return facility and kept it there. And that was it. Luke wasn't really contacted. Luke also originally didn't get any information. It just was kept there. And now when they called at the 24th of April, Luke was just given like a random number, like a random reference number. And they were like, oh yeah, we're looking for it. What do you mean you're looking for it? Where has it been for like past, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks? What are you doing with return packages that you have to look for it to even figure out where it is? Why do you just store them? What's the point of that? I don't know if the people watching this video know anything about vinyl, but you have to keep it like that. If you lay it down flat, like a package lying on the ground, the vinyl could get damaged by that very quickly. So if it doesn't stand upright, the vinyl could be already a goner at this point, which is fantastic. I am getting worried with this being shelved for over a month for no apparent reason. And now here's the kicker. And this is the reason why I'm making this video, because this got actually even worse. I only saw this message this morning, but when Luke checked the tracking again, it claimed to have been delivered back to Luke, except not to Luke. There's a signature of somebody called Tom. No one is called Tom in this entire story. Neither of us knows a Tom. And like, it doesn't even say anything specific about that. It just says, signed by Tom. The name doesn't even look like Tom. That's just a squiggly line. I could not read Tom by that. But it says Tom. There's no surname. It says, Kingston upon Thames on Tuesday the 21st of March. It got back to the UK. But then on the 24th of April, it got delivered to a PO box. So like a month later, for whatever reason. And then like 5 days later than that, it was delivered to Kingston upon Thames, which is a town south of London, to a random guy called Tom. There's no address here, there's no surname, there's no further information. We don't know who Tom is or why they delivered it there. And the thing is, when Luke had the phone call with Royal Mail, they made sure that they had the correct return address. Besides the fact that probably the return address was on the package, so I don't even know how that happened. But they sent this package to a random guy called Tom that neither of us knows of. And that random guy called Tom also accepted the package. They didn't even know what was in it, they just took it. Why? Who are you? Why do you have my vinyl? And the worst part is, if they do some Googling, they could be now selling it for a high price, given that there's basically no copies of it. Which would mean I will never get the vinyl that I paid for. And it's not even Luke's fault, because Royal Mail just delivered it to a random person. Unless this is still part of a scam, but I don't think it's a scam. I really don't think it's a scam, except maybe by Royal Mail. What do you mean? Who is Tom? This is so ridiculous. Actually, I don't even know what to say other than that. It's just pure ridiculous. Pure ridiculous. That's not English, but anyway. I texted Luke back. I didn't hear back from them since then. But Luke is hoping that we can get the money reimbursed. Which would also help, because then it could just buy the Netherlands one. But also, why does Tom have my vinyl? Tom, give me the vinyl. It's mine. Give it back. And also, what I don't get is like, why is there no surname? Why is there no other information? Why does it only say delivered to Tom? Is that how that works? Because like, that doesn't help. If one of my neighbors would accept one of my packages and it would say, I don't know, accepted by Claudia, I wouldn't know who that is. And it's just such a frustrating week. I mean, this is besides the point. Just on a side note, that you maybe understand why I'm so frustrated with delivery right now. I did get some food boxes for YouTube videos. They were stolen. Like literally. One of my neighbors saw it in the hallway while I was working, and when I came back home it was stolen. The company sent me another package, but like the original one was just stolen. Then I ordered a record player, and the delivery company for the record player claimed I denied it even though I was at work. Then I ordered it again, and they claimed I denied it even though I was at home waiting for them to deliver it, and nobody rang my doorbell. Also, I bought something from Amazon, and Amazon said they couldn't find me, but I was at home because it was the same day this was meant to be delivered. What is up with delivery companies? Why is all of this happening at the same time? I don't know what's going on. But like the vinyl thing is still the most ridiculous. Who is Tom? I keep saying that. This is gonna end up being like, I don't know, a merch idea or something eventually. But who is Tom? Honestly, I have no idea how I want to structure this video. But since it's been almost 3 weeks since I filmed the beginning story part time of this, I wanted to film an update part, and I might continue doing these until the vinyl is here. So we haven't really made progress, but we have a bit more information. First of all, it took me a week to get information, but then I heard that apparently Tom was not a random person, it's the manager of a record store. Which is helping. It's still strange, but it makes more sense than a random person that nobody knows. But when the person I'm in contact with tried to call the store, Tom wasn't in the store, so nobody could help or give information, which is great. So they basically moved to email conversation to be like, yeah, you get information eventually. Which is not what I want to hear. It's been months. I want to have the vinyl, but alright, whatever. Then coronation happened, so everybody was busy. So it took me, again, over a week to get information again. The next time I heard back was basically explaining why it ended up at a record store. Because apparently the mailer that was used to send the vinyl to me had an old record store address on it, which is fine, that can happen. However, the person sending me the package made sure they also had their return address on it. So it still doesn't really make sense how that old thing was prioritized, but it's whatever. The bigger problem here is, after, the manager of that store accepted a package, the store now claimed that they don't know of that package existing. What do you mean? What do you mean? Literally his name is there as the recipient of the package. So there's a package. Where is the package? Give me the package. So that's great. We're back at the point of trying to get more information or trying to get the money back. We don't know what will happen, which is frustrating. I loved that Luke finished his last message with, "It's getting ridiculous." Luke. It's not getting ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. It's okay. But we are far past it's getting ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous. It's not your fault, necessarily. But it's ridiculous nonetheless. Now we have late May, and let me remind you that I paid for this vinyl in early February. It's been almost 4 months. 3.5 at this point. I think Luke said in his last message that it's been about 3 months, which, yeah, with the delivery time, because it wasn't delivered right away, that makes sense, but still, quarter of a year to get a vinyl from England to Germany. That is a bit beyond ridiculous. I hope the next time I sit down to film, I have more happy information. I don't know what to say at this point anymore, honestly. It's been about a month since I filmed for this video the last time, and there are some updates. I don't really have a lot to say, which is why I didn't really film any clips in between. But as you can tell, I still do not have the record in my hands, otherwise I would show it right now. The last message I read to you was from May the 17th. We have June the 27th now, so it's been more than a month. And again, I don't want to reiterate how long I've been waiting for this record to arrive here in the first place, which is an issue at this point. But regardless, let's get into it. The first message I sent back was me basically questioning, how can it be that the manager of the record store signed for the package, but also they claimed to not have the package? Like, what? That doesn't work. Got no reply, so I messaged them about a week later and was like, hey, did you get any news? That person was currently switching their job and all that. And I get that that's a busy time of the year. I totally get that. But we still have to keep in mind the fact that you can only tell PayPal that a certain payment was a scam for about 180 days. So 6 months. And as we were nearing like 4 to 5 months, and I still didn't know, I still didn't have any proof of this package actually being on my way, there was still a part of my brain that was like, what if they're scamming me? And that part of my brain also wanted to be able to do the refund thing through PayPal if I have to. Not getting a response at this point of the waiting period. Yeah, I don't like that. No hate to them. I get the busyness, but like, it's all a bit weird in a way. I'm just reading the messages right now and it's a lot of not much actually. The first response was not really anything. And then a week later, they told me that the package is on the way back to them. So at least we found the package at this point. It was June the 5th, by the way. I paid for this on February the 1st. They also said in the same message that now shipping has to be paid again. And honestly, even telling me that made me a bit fed up, because from my point of view, it was pretty clear that I'm not going to be the one paying shipping again. I'm sorry, but no. Either I get all of my money back, or I get this vinyl sent to me again without any extra cost. That was pretty obvious to me, and I made that clear. I told them that I'm not going to be paying extra. That's just not my responsibility. I don't know what happened to it, I don't know why it never got to my town, but I'm not paying extra. I'm sorry. I can't. This is a ridiculous amount of money. It's almost like 2 to 3 weeks of food money. I can't add to that. Besides the waiting time, which is also ridiculous. So they told me they're going to be paying that, and then there was a lot of back and forth that I can't really read out because there's not much any of us said. However, the person I'm corresponding with tried to get Royal Mail to pay for the extra cost since the package wasn't ever delivered. But Royal Mail then again said it was rejected, so they won't do anything about it. And again, this is the weird part, because I knew from 100% certainty I never rejected a package because it never got to my town. And I keep holding on to that. And we'll get there in a second, actually. They called Royal Mail again, and then they found out that it never arrived at my place because it was rejected at customs. Customs in Germany didn't let the package through. So I was correct from the very beginning. It never made it to my town because it never left the customs facility. And I was never notified either. So there was nothing I could have done. 2 weeks later, we're still like at 2 weeks ago, they found out that it was because they didn't sign some sheet they have to fill out for the package to be delivered to me, which is kind of strange to me. Like, why wouldn't they be told that at the post office? So, it is still a mess up from Royal Mail if they didn't give that information through, even though it's necessary. But yeah, the package never made it to my town. It would have never arrived here. But 10 days ago, on June the 17th, so a month after I filmed the last clip, the package was sent again to Germany. Where it is since the 19th, so 8 days ago, it's currently held in customs. I don't know why. It's not been rejected. And the last time it was rejected quicker. So I don't think that will happen again. But I don't know why it's at customs. I don't know what's happening. I gotta give them a call and find out what's with my package. Gotta do that right after filming this clip, actually. I hate this situation. But we're getting the vinyl, so a win is a win, I suppose. I don't know. I shouldn't be saying that before it's here, but I don't know what else to say. Alright, and here we are. Since the last time I filmed, there wasn't too much happening. As I said, it was in customs and it was held there for quite a while, which customs is just weird. Sometimes it takes a day and then things get delivered to me straight away. Sometimes I wait for 3 weeks without any explanation, and I'm very worried that things get sent back to their respective country, which happened with this record obviously once. So I was quite worried, to say the least. However, then I got mail, because apparently the person selling the record did not send in certain papers. So I had to make the customs declaration myself, which also did cost me another 15 euros, so like $20. So add that to the price of the record, which ends me at like $100, 90 euros. Love that for me. With customs, we're probably at 100 euros. This is, I don't even want to think about it. Genuinely, I don't want to think about it. Regardless, I now finally have it. After I sent in my papers, it took still like a week or two until it got sent out to me. It was a very tedious process, and it was kind of annoying because here's the thing still. There was just so many points in the story where I felt like I might be scammed. So obviously I wanted to get a package as quick as possible to be sure to check the contents. Because here's the thing. I had until the 1st of August to declare it being a scam at PayPal. If it turned out to be a scam after the 1st of August, nothing would have been done for me. So that's great. You can imagine the worry I was at, but it's currently the 23rd of July, and I had this in my apartment for a couple of days. I didn't open it because I did open it for my other vinyl video where I show all of my collection. So up until now I still was worried, but just gonna show it to you. The record is actually in here. So no worries for that. We are fine and dandy. Gonna play it in a second. Because, you know, after all this time I definitely need to hear it. But this story has a good ending. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please leave a like. Comment down below anything you want to comment down below. Feel free to let me know your stories with buying vinyl secondhand. Did you ever have experiences like that, or even worse than that? Did you ever get scammed buying vinyl online? Tell me about it. I want to hear about it. Even though that would make me sad, but still, I want to hear about it. Also, if you like videos like this one, or travel vlogs, travel dogs, cooking videos, urban exploration, beauty stuff, social commentary, candy tastings, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point anymore. I would just advise you to go check out the rest of my channel, see if there's more content you'd enjoy, and if there is, maybe subscribe. And stay up to date with everything I'm gonna post in the future. If you want to support my channel financially, Patreon and Ko-fi are both in the description. The same as my Discord server if you ever want to hang out and talk. Though I can't really promise to be there much anymore because I just stopped using Discord about a year ago. I still exist there. I just can't promise to get back to you if you send me messages and stuff. And with all of that being said, hopefully see you next time. Bye.
Take me home, take me back to playing teddy bears and butterflies in my hair. Home, what's that? I got a doll's house with a few cracks. Grew too tall, now I'm looking out the attic. My feet are in the basement cause I never wanna hack it. Life, what's that? Life, what's that? She's such a has-been. Ain't ever done with that. She's the girl that's in the past. It's a